Hello, we are Group 5, and our business is Food for You. And the reason we started this is because 30 to 40% of food is wasted every single year. So we wanted to find a way to collect food waste, repurpose it, and compost unusable food. And that will equal less waste. Our Get, Keep, Grow customer relationship is get using physical flyers, connecting with charities and religious leaders to identify individuals who need assistance. We will keep the customers from social media advertising of local events and giving away donations. We also want to use incentives to build loyalty. We will grow our business by looking for partnerships with other nonprofits and looking into partnership with Group 3, which is a community garden. So they would be able to compost the food that we are not able to use or resell. Our marketing is markets, and something like this flyer would be a great example of our marketing strategy. We would have a summer market where people could come and buy the food that was not able to be used in the restaurants or the grocery stores, and things would be a very affordable price. Our distribution channels are two main pathways. First is the direct model, where there's a food source, preparation by us, deliveries would be packed, and then the customer would have the quality food. The next is the hybrid model, where there's the food source, preparation by us, food is sold to a third party for repurposing, and then farmers and recycling plants will end as compost material. We have two key partners. The first one is grocery stores, and the risk would be losing a little bit of money, but the reward would be to sell old product. We also have restaurants and well-off families. So restaurants would have a little bit of risk for added work or effort, and kind of the same with the well-off families. And then the reward would be helping the community or more awareness for food waste. Our distribution is food banks, charities, and nonprofit organizations.
Some of our key activities and resources would be having a physical location, starting off in Arizona, but also having other locales locally. We would have a website where people could get information about our upcoming location of giving and donations, where to give donations. We'd have human resources in regards to that to help sort and delegate the food as what can be given to others and those that need to be used for food process, for the food compost. Um, we would have our physical location again would be starting up in Arizona, but expand to other states as necessary. The distribution would build relationships with local shelters, food banks, community organizations, and even gardens for that compost. We would include also the youth groups and other associations to help with volunteer, give them a first hand experience and reaching those that are in need. Again, this is the website where we could say donate now and find a location near you for individuals to, again, part of our Keep Grow is getting those things to us. The donations would be through Kickstarter, GoFundMe, and personal donations from businesses, restaurants, mom and pop areas, and farmers, local farmers who may not be able to sell produce, but it can still be useful for those that are in need, the needy families that may not be able to. Again, our main suppliers would be Safeway, Albertsons, bakeries, mom and pop stores, and local restaurants. Just giving those food an opportunity to be used and not wasted. Again, here's the nice little pamphlet that we would also hand out, allowing people to the first hand use the word of mouth. Another portion of it.
Going along with our MVP pamphlet. So you can find out more on our website and our business partnerships and learn about why we're doing this and all about the waste. So our value propositions are bringing qualified food to those in need that would otherwise be wasted, and allowing businesses, families, and others to give back to their community and decrease their own amount of food material waste. And then giving back to our farmers and gardeners by taking unqualified food material and then repurposing it for composting in soil. Our early evangelists are the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So that would look to fund pilot projects who help communities avoid wasting food, looking to reduce food waste by 10% each year, help with funding and donations and getting grants, opening opportunities with other nonprofit organizations. And then our other one is the low income families. So families who would need food and want to eat healthy and who want to grow their own food. Our customer segments and archetypes are households, so low income families, food service businesses / families, and farmers and gardeners. And then our archetypes are eco-conscious families, nonprofit organizations, and sustainable farmers. So with low income families, the pains and gains would be the low income, so in need of food and resources. And then our value proposal solution would be giving food and resources via donors. Then our service-oriented families and businesses, their pains and gains would have food waste and doesn't have good service opportunity but wants one. And then our value proposal solution would be provides a use for what would otherwise be wasted and then gives opportunity to serve.
So just going along with what Natalie was saying, pains and gains for the farmers, gardeners, and composters. They're always in need of treating their soil and making it more fertile. So our value proposal solution is to help them solve that pain and help them to once again come out a net zero. So once we as a company aren't wasting any food ourselves, which is really key. And then our market impact, this was really big for us. We assume that our business model is scalable to achieving a 1% decrease in the overall waste in America per year is a goal that we have. And currently 38% of food is wasted each year, which is just outrageous. So if we could help target in the 6.5 cups of food per week that people waste on average in each family, that in turn would go around and help 650,000 people that are homeless on average. If we could even help them a little bit, then that would be fantastic. And going along with that, once again, our TAM is calculated 46 million households in the United States. So if you're going off 38% of food waste, it's quite a big issue that needs to be addressed. And we've come up with a solution that will also give back to the community in the process. The revenue model for the business, obviously, as a nonprofit, we're hoping for funding from the USDA. They have a program that offers pilots like ourselves over $10 million per year. They do this every year. So if we could have a portion of that in our business, as well as other funding mentioned before from local farmers and people that would benefit from this, then that would be great. And from our customers, we would basically be the middleman of quality control, make sure the food's okay, and then getting it to the place, whether it be we're giving it back to families, farmers, low-income families, or we're turning around and, like we said, potentially partnering with another business in the class and using it for gardening and soiling purposes. But the big key here is coming out with that net zero of no more food being wasted. And costs and metrics that matter, I ran based on fair market value of what things cost nowadays, that it would take roughly $13,000 per month to run our business, including payroll for employees and any materials. We figure if you're working for this good a cause, you might as well be paid for your work. And that's not a terrible amount of money to run our business. So what I've come out with is from the original amount that I thought one of my interviews that I did, the gentleman recommended that we request 15,000 a month from the USDA and from other sources, so that $2,000 per month could go back into our business for the quality control. And that part of the business, there needs to be a little bit of money put there, so that way we actually have a good way to verify the food. If it needs to go to families, it's good to go, and if it needs to go to swelling purposes. This will fluctuate based on, what the USDA will allow for reapplication.
So with business environment, we have a most important customer segment being restaurants and grocery stores. We wanted to also focus on acquiring partnerships with large corporations to increase those donation potentials. For industry forces, governmental agencies will have a large impact on our business through food safety laws as well as possible nonprofit funding. To move on to SWOT analysis, our main strength is that we can appeal to businesses with a sense of giving back to the community. The main weakness would be dependency on those donations to function as our business. Our opportunity is to collaborate with government agencies for funding and resources, and the main threat is food safety challenges. Continuing on with revenue, cost, and infrastructure, the main revenue is collection fees and donations, while cost consists of transportation, storage, and distribution, as well as collection of that food. The infrastructure includes key resources of vehicles and donations, partners of grocery stores and restaurants, and activities of donation acquisition and distribution logistics. Continuing on with the customer interface assessment, our customer segments focus on low-income families, so those who have use for or can donate food waste, and the channels and resources will revolve around those donation needs. Now for our interview pivots, in our interviews, we noticed an emphasis on concerns with food safety and donations of both food and money. So keeping those in mind, we wanted to make several pivots to make sure that we prioritize sticking to food safety laws, partnering with larger businesses for food donations, and working with government and funding options. So for our final BMC, over the course of the project, we were able to learn a lot from our interviews and different research, and we were able to pivot accordingly. Thank you for hearing our presentation, and please feel free to ask any questions that you have.